Hello again, everybody. It's Mr. Scott. Welcome to another episode of Metal 40 Plus, where we celebrate metal albums that turn 40 years old in the year 2024. And today we have a very appropriate album to talk about around this time of year, which of course is Halloween season. It's Don't Break the Oath from Mercyful Fate. We'll be talking about the album, the songs in the album, and the band in context of the time the album came out. Plus, we're going to be enjoying a deep cut from this one. It's called Welcome Princes of Hell. I'll be taking breaks during the song to give you guys some insight and information about the album. So let's not waste time and get right into the song. And thrill me. This is the lyric video because there is no music video for it. Oh, I love that. The bass slide right there. All right, we'll take a break right there. That's the first round of verse and chorus for you guys. Yeah, that bass slide that gets thrown in there, that always clicks my ear so much. As a bass player, I have to. So let's talk a little bit about this album, Don't Break the Oath. It is the second full-length studio album from Mercyful Fate, the follow-up to their 1983 debut called Melissa, which is another great album from the band. And the album was recorded at Easy Sound Recording Studios in Copenhagen, Denmark, released September 7th, 1984 on Roadrunner Records, and it continues the kind of sound that Mercyful Fate was becoming known for: amazing guitar work, solid drums and bass, and of course the falsetto vocals of King Diamond, along with the eerie supernatural lyrical content that the band would become known for as well. The album didn't really do any kind of major success, Billboard-wise, sale-wise, and all that stuff. But that didn't matter because Mercyful Fate became a huge underground sensation and an influence on many thrash and speed metal bands to come out of the 80s like Megadeth, Slayer, and Metallica. Back into it. The song takes a complete turn right here. Awesome bass fill. The double guitar attack. This is Hank Sherman and Michael Denner on guitar. All right, pause right there. You can tell that just from hearing this, if you're not familiar with the band, but you are like a casual metal fan, Mercyful Fate was the Danish equivalent of Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, bands from the new wave of British heavy metal. This was Denmark's answer to it. So let's talk about the songs on this album. There are plenty to talk about, and the first one we have to talk about is the opening track, A Dangerous Meeting. This is definitely one of, if not my favorite, Mercyful Fate songs. It's got the dynamics to start the album properly, one guitar starts, another guitar kicks in, bass and drums come in, and then you got King coming in with this big high scream that he loves to do so much. So it really starts the journey on the album well. The lyrical content all deals with people who decided to come together to have a little seance, and they realize they are dealing with powers well beyond their kin as they find themselves trapped in this hell present seance status forever. So yeah, little happy number to start out the album with. Matter of fact, it was my inspiration for writing my first ever horror short story entitled 7 Souls to Hell, which is available on the anthology Stranger with Friction issue 9, now available on Amazon for purchase on there. Please pick up your copy before it's out of print. Next up, we go to the track called Nightmare, a very progressive track. There's a lot of different feels and vibes to this one. There's a cool groove between the bass and the drums, great guitar lines, changes a lot of vibes. A lot of different feels in the song, too. The lyrics are great, especially near the end, where if you're listening to it in headphones, there's this maniacal laughter going around all around your head. It just penetrates your eardrums from the earphones. It's fantastic. Next up, we come with Desecration of Souls. After that is Night of the Unborn. They're two good tracks. I wouldn't say they're particularly fantastic, but they are good, solid songs on the album. Then we get to a dynamic track on the album. If the satanic panic of the 80s could be summarized in one song, it's this one, and it's called The Oath. It is eerie, it is creepy, it is demonic, and basically King Diamond is expressing his philosophy about life and beliefs and religion in the song. Anton LaVey, anybody? Yeah, check it out. You'll know what I'm talking about. But regardless of that factor, the song is fantastic. Like I said, it's got this creepy beginning to it with this organ and different kind of noises going on like you're in a cemetery. It's just perfect for this time of year, by the way, so check that out. Next up, we have a song that could have been a single off this album. It's called Gypsy. It's a relatively shorter track, played a lot live by the band in the early days, and it goes by pretty fast, but it's solid nonetheless. So it could have been a bona fide hit off the album if there was such a thing at the time for this kind of music. Then we have this one, Welcome Princes of Hell, and there's been controversy about this for years because the song is actually titled Welcome Princes of Hell. Princes, plural of the word prince. But there are copies of this album that have a misprint for the name of the song as Welcome Princess of Hell. If you listen to the lyrics, they say, like, I turn off the lights, we like darkness. We, plural, meaning there are several princes talking about on this song. So it's not princess. That is a typo that's out there. You can confirm this because I did on the internet from King Diamond himself saying the song was called Welcome Princes of Hell. There was a misprint, Welcome Princess of Hell. So, hey, regardless of that, this is a huge deep cut, big favorite of mine off this album. That's why I'm sharing it with you today. Then we come to an instrumental track. It's called To One Far Away. This is only a minute and a half long. It starts out with an acoustic guitar. There's no lyrics being sung, but King is doing like choral chanting over top of it. Electric guitar comes in with a nice little line, but it's quick and easy, but a very nice piece to kind of lull you down a little bit from all the aggression you hear on this one. And then we round out the album with an iconic track, Come to the Sabbath. This is a huge song for the band. They still play it live to this very day, and that tells you what kind of impact it's had with its fan base. So you've got bookend big hits on this one. You've got a solid track right in the middle with The Oath, and various other good tracks to Fair, and even like a great deep cut like this one all over this album. So Don't Break the Oath, 40 years old this year. Oh, the metal that it has produced. It is fantastic. Let's round out Princes of Hell. And the great bass of Timmy Hansen is all over this song, too. Little lull right there, and right back to the beginning. Pick scrape. Yes. Oh my God, that's so good. It's just so it's a quick song, It's kind of in and out there, but it flows so well. And as being the bass player, I have eternal grateful influence from Timmy Hansen, aka Tibby Grabber, rest in power, sir, and his influence on me as a player, because it's all over this song. It's all over the Mercyful Fate music. It's just so freaking solid. 1984 would be the year this album came out, and the band would tour on the album. It would be time to go back in the studio and record some new music, but differences of the future of the band were starting to come to a hilt, because King Diamond, as one of the primary musical contributors to the band, wanted to kind of keep it going in this direction, kind of doubling down on the evil, eerie, supernatural type feel. Hank Sherman, one of the guitar players, another big musical contributor, wanted to go in a little bit more of a poppy, rock and roll, arena rock type sound. And because of that difference, King Diamond quits the band, and the band breaks up promptly from that decision. But both men would go on to do other things. King would take Michael Denner, one of the other guitar players, and Timmy Hansen on bass, and start the actual King Diamond project. And Hank Sherman would go on to form an arena rock band called Fate that would have a lot of great music out there. Kim Ruz, the band's the band's drummer, pretty much left the music industry after that. I think he came back in 2012 to start a little project, but it didn't really go anywhere. Word is that he went to become a postman in Denmark for some time, and then he got into construction work, left the music industry completely. I don't really know if he has any ties to anybody in the scene anymore, but hey, no problem with that. More power to him. If that's what kind of life he wants to lead, then we have no choice but to respect that. And he will always be a huge influence on a lot of musicians, a lot of drummers out there. Left his mark. Definitely have to say he's left his mark. Mercyful Fate would reunite in 1993 and release their third album at that point, called In the Shadows, which is my favorite Mercyful Fate album. And I got to see that band tour on that album. I have the T-shirt. It's in a trunk over here. It doesn't fit me anymore, but I still got it. So yeah, Mercyful Fate is essential music for horror and metal fans around this time of year, in my opinion. And a song like this encapsulated it completely. So there you have it. Don't Break the Oath for Mercyful Fate. 40 years old this year. 40 years young this year. So if you're a fan of Mercyful Fate and King Diamond, what are some of your favorite songs? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, I ask you please hit that like button and think about clicking that subscribe button too. All these videos, the Metal 40 Plus, are on a playlist here on this channel, so check them out at your convenience. I talked about Power Slave from Iron Maiden, Ride the Lightning from Metallica, Stay Hungry from Twisted Sister, and all different kinds of albums. So please check those out, along with all the other content I have here at It's Mr. Scott. I thank you very much for stopping by, my friends. Keep those horns high and never stop playing.
It's Mr. Scott. Yo, it's Mr. Scott. You know his ass is hot. Yo, it's Mr. Scott. It's Mr. Scott. Yo, it's Mr. Scott. You know his ass is hot. Yo, it's Mr. Scott. It's Mr. Scott. Let him hang.